Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be talking about the upcoming chances for severe weather. Obviously, things have been very quiet, but I think that that's going to come to a change very quickly. Now, before I get started with this video, though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather-related content, and also make sure to share this video with your friends, family, and social media. Now, for today's comment of the day, I want to know, do you think that April will go down as the most active severe weather month of the entire year? That was a very active month. Or do you think that May will maybe make a rebound, or maybe another month will be more active than what April was? Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know why, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Also, if you wanted to know more about Tropical Storm Arthur, yes, it is a tropical storm officially now, you can follow my Twitter down below. I'm going to be making frequent posts on there about the storm, so be sure to do that. Now, what we're taking a look at right now is the past 20 days of our temperature anomalies here. This is a really cool tool to be able to look at. And you can see that for the past 20 days, all of the cold air has been locked into the eastern and central United States. And what this has done is it's gone from the southern United States all the way up to the northern United States. And it's basically prohibited any big severe weather events from occurring, basically with the exception of Oklahoma and Texas. That actually looks pretty favorable out there. It looks kind of like backwards, but it would lead to some severe weather chances, which I do think we have had a few of those in the past 20 days. So that's probably why. Now, this is a much more favorable pattern for severe weather. And this is looking at Sunday, May 24th. I just picked a random date upcoming. And because we have cold in the west, warm in the east, now take a look at what happens. By Monday, May 25th, we see a cold front come through in those areas where we had very warm temperatures. This leads to very bad severe weather, and that's basically what you're looking for some severe weather outbreaks, and that's what we didn't have for the past 20 days because there was cold locked into the east, and that's why it's been very quiet and why I expect it to get more active. All right, so we're about to move on. What we're going to do is we're actually going to look at our CAPE, our simulated radar, also some of our shear as well, and just go over some of the upcoming severe weather chances. All right, now first things first, we're looking at the CAPE for May 21st. And as you can see, we have in our greens 1,000 to 2,000, in our yellows 2,000 to 3,000, and in our reds we have 3,000 to 4,000. Now, I want you to remember those numbers. 1,000 is sufficient for severe weather, but the higher it goes, the more fuel that those thunderstorms will have. If you don't understand what CAPE is, the only thing you need to take away from it is it's basically food for thunderstorms. These thunderstorms eat up the CAPE, and then they gain intensity. So that's basically how the whole process works. Now let's look at the simulated radar for that frame. And actually, if you take a look up on the border of Montana, Wyoming, and Colorado, as well as Nebraska, South Dakota, and North Dakota, that whole vicinity right there, we are going to be dealing with some thunderstorm activity up there. And actually, the National Weather Service has kind of eyeballed this area as a chance at day 4. Here's your shear, and we're actually going to have a pretty elevated amount of shear here. Those purples to even reds showing up there is going to be sufficient for the potential for tornadoes no matter what. So if we get some thunderstorms in those areas, we're going to be dealing with the chance for tornadoes. And this is their day 4 risk that I told you guys about. We have a 15% chance of severe weather there, right on the border of Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Nebraska, and then even down into a little bit of Colorado as well. This is an area that actually does see some tornado activity at times, so I would not be surprised if we do see some supercells develop on day 4 and potentially some tornadoes. Obviously, not a lot of people live here, but it's pretty much open fields, and I'm sure we will see a couple tornadoes at least on day 4, which is going to be Wednesday in through Thursday. All right, now we're about to move on, and we're going to take a look at another date here. We're going to take a look at Friday, May 22nd, and we're just going to move on, take a look at the CAPE for that date, the simulated radar, and the bulk shear once again. All right, so here's the CAPE, and again, those reds and purples are definitely sufficient, even the greens and yellows, but definitely the reds and purples. And throughout Oklahoma and Texas this is going to be Thursday and through Friday, May 22nd. We do have tons of reds and purples all over the place. And let's take a look at that bulk shear. We do have some showing up for Texas and Oklahoma there, in the pinks and even some reds showing up. That's going to be enough for tornado activity. And take a look here. The same frame, we do have some thunderstorms that are going to be building in through Texas and a little bit of Oklahoma as well. That could lead to some severe weather activity there for this is going to be Thursday and through Friday, May 22nd, so day 5, I think. Now another one. Here's May 23rd, which is going to be, May 22nd through 23rd, which is going to be Friday through Saturday. And once again, reds and purples showing up for Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and even Kansas. This is going to be enough, again, for those severe thunderstorms to really just develop throughout these regions. Let's take a look at the bulk shear. And we're not going to have as much on this date, but for Oklahoma and Kansas, we will have some developing behind these storms, which might just lead to enough chance for tornadoes to see some tornadoes on that date there during this severe weather threat on Friday through Saturday. So May 22nd through 23rd. Here's that simulated radar, and you can see right in that area where we have high Cape and the bulk shear right behind it, we do have those thunderstorms developing there for Oklahoma and even some through central Texas as well once again. So I think we're going to have a big 3-day event here with at least probably a slight risk for severe weather, maybe more for Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, Missouri. I think that's generally the area you're going to look at from the 21st through about the 23rd. I'd be on the lookout for some of that severe weather to potentially be happening. All right, so we're about to move on. We're going to look at another date. We're going to move a little bit further into May and just keep going down these potential dates that we could have some severe weather activity. All right, and here we are, and this is the Cape for May, 23rd. So we can see that there is some reds and purples there showing up for Oklahoma and Texas, and the yellows and oranges are pretty widespread there. Let's take a look at that bulk shear, and you can see most of it is up there for Montana, Wyoming, and the Dakotas, but we do have a little bit creeping its way down into Kansas and Oklahoma. This is why I'm saying that these will probably be severe weather outbreaks and not tornado outbreaks. The bulk shear isn't looking to really become a factor in a lot of these events from what I'm able to see, so I don't think that we will have any huge tornado outbreaks for the end of May here, the final half of May, but it is always possible. I'm just not really seeing an elevated chance of anything like that happening. Let's go ahead and take a look at the simulated radar, and up there where we did have a lot of bulk shear and some Cape, we do see a lot of those thunderstorms kind of showing up for the same regions that we actually see on day 4 that's coming up, but this is going to be for actually Saturday in through Sunday, so the 23rd through the 24th. We see those thunderstorms developing along Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Nebraska once again, and these could be in the form of supercells, and again, these do actually look like they could cause some tornadoes to occur as well, as they could be in the form of supercells. This is getting really far out though, so take it with a grain of salt, but we're kind of just generally looking at some threats for severe weather and taking it day by day, just showing you guys some dates where we could see some potential severe weather coming up. All right, so we're about to move on, and we're going to move on to, once again, another date. We're just going to keep going through with these until we reach the end of this video. All right, and here's the Cape on Sunday, May 24th, and this actually looks like the most elevated amount of Cape that I've seen on this entire model run. We see those purples widespread throughout Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri, but we even see those tan shades, which is 5,000 plus Cape there for Oklahoma and Kansas. This could be a moderate or high risk day if this was to verify. Obviously, this is very, very, very far out, so I highly doubt this will verify. But if it did happen to look anything like this, I could see this being a huge severe weather day. Here's that bulk shear as well, and we're going to have a sufficient amount, 50 to 70 there throughout those areas in Kansas and Oklahoma. And then here's that simulated radar, looking at a pretty big amount of that thunderstorm development there for Oklahoma, Kansas, Iowa, Minnesota, the Dakotas, but definitely there for Oklahoma and Kansas. That looks classic severe weather outbreak setup or tornado outbreak setup. So I would not be surprised to see something towards the end of May, as it looks like it's going to get more and more favorable for these tornado outbreaks. So if we do see something big, I think it would be after the 20th, obviously after the 20th, but probably closer to the 25th as I'm seeing here, maybe even towards the end and beginning of June. All right, now as we take a look, you can see that these thunderstorms actually do move eastward and just continue. And then here's at Monday at about 8 p.m. we can see a lot of Cape still for the southeast and deep south, and then you can see that those thunderstorms continue until they reach the southeast. So we could see this be a multiple day severe weather outbreak or possibly even tornado outbreak. Those same storms that were in Oklahoma and Kansas make their way down into the southeast. is pretty similar to what we saw at times in April. So if we were to see this setup, that would be not very surprising because we've had setups like this. I'm just going to throw out a few more dates. Here's the 27th of May, or actually, sorry, this is the 26th through the 27th. We see more thunderstorms develop there for Texas and Oklahoma. So really, it's just there's going to be multiple dates that I'm looking at the chance for a lot of severe weather, and that was not the case for the 1st through the 15th of May. So things are about to get a lot more active. We're going to see a big surge in these severe weather events, and I even am eyeballing the chance for a couple big ones, potentially a tornado outbreak or two, but as of right now, that's not looking super likely, unless again that one for the 25th verifies, which would be unlikely, but if it did happen to, that would look pretty bad. Now, for yesterday's comment of the day, I asked you guys, what do you think that tropical system's going to do? And NASCAR Dog 48 said, I think it will stay offshore, but probably will be decent rain to the coast. And that looks like actually what's going to happen. So that's why I picked that for today's comment of the day. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends, family, and social media. I will see you guys in the next video.